What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the other day, Bloomberg put out an article basically going over the whole development cycle of Modern Warfare 3. And ladies and gentlemen, all the leaks and rumors that we have heard over, the past year or so are basically true. Yes, indeed. I am honestly, I am shocked that Sledgehammer Games was able to put out this game with the time that they had and the bullcrap they had to go through. And two, Infinity Ward Management has to get the hell out of here. They must be fired on the spot, honestly. But guys, before we go ahead and dive deep, if you guys do enjoy what you hear today and want to hear some more content revolving around Modern Warfare 3, we have tons of things to go ahead and discuss. I have a bunch of topics lined up, but of course, we only post one video a day. So like I said, if you want to be notified on all these videos, all the content, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. We post daily here at 8 in the morning Eastern time. And last but not least, we are going to be streaming over on Kick pretty much all week long. Usually we take off on Sundays, but since it's obviously the launch of a brand new Call of Duty game, we're going to be streaming pretty much every single day. So if you guys want to stay tuned on that stuff and you guys, need some lobbies, because I always do open lobbies. So if you need a team, if you need some people to play with, we're always there. I have a link to my stream as well as all my other socials down in the description of this video. And that stream usually goes live around 12:30 to 1 p.m. Eastern time. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to go ahead and read off the actual Bloomberg article. I'm just going to summarize it through Charlie Intel's tweets, but I will leave the link to that Bloomberg article down in the description of this video so you guys can go ahead and see it with your own eyes, see it for yourself. But Charlie Intel did a fantastic job summarizing the whole, overall thing here. And again, I know we all want to bash Sledgehammer Games to a certain degree, but you really do have to give them a round of applause for, doing what they did with the time that they had and the crap they had to go through. As you can see right here, Charlie Intel says, news. Bloomberg reports that Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 was developed in just 16 months. Ladies and gentlemen, that is less than 2 years. Do you know how insane that is for a AAA game? He goes on to say, some staff at Sledgehammer Games says the title was initially pitched to them as an expansion, huge emphasis on expansion, but quickly changed into a full premium title. Other staff says it was left up in the air as to if it was an expansion or a full release. So not only did this game have less than 2 years of production, which is extremely stupid and rare for a Call of Duty game, typically it's 2 to 3 years of development, but at the same time, it was pitched as a DLC. So it was a DLC. All the leaks and rumors at the very beginning when, we were still playing Modern Warfare 2 were true. They were going to give us a campaign DLC with Modern Warfare 2 maps and, extra weapons. That's literally what the game was going to be. And then in a blink of an eye, they had to switch everything and make it into a full premium title. Hence why we see so many problems, especially when it comes to the campaign. Multiplayer is honestly fun in my personal opinion. But when it comes to the campaign, you could just tell that it did not have the full, production like it usually does. It might be one of the worst campaigns we've ever seen in Call of Duty history, and this right here is why. Further moving on, this is another interesting one on why the campaign turned out the way it did. Charlie Intel also says Bloomberg reports that Modern Warfare 3's story was initially supposed to be a small-scale Modern Warfare story set in Mexico. But in summer last year, Activision executives rebooted the entire story to be a direct sequel to Modern Warfare 2. Once again, leading up to the reason why the campaign just wasn't all that, and it felt, once again, like a half-assed product because they never had a real genuine vision on what this campaign was going to be. And in less than 2 years, they had to make 2 different campaign storylines and hopefully mash them up to make them good. What do you expect them to do at that point? Again, this is all Activision right here. Activision, I'm so happy that they're out of the picture. I'm not saying Microsoft is going to be any better because, no massive corporation is better. I always find it strange that people will, gladly suck off Microsoft. But honestly, they're not any better. Sony isn't any better. Nintendo isn't any better. Nintendo's probably my favorite out of the bunch, and they probably make the most consistent games, but none of them are good, okay? Any massive corporation that's worth, millions, if not billions of dollars, do schemy shit all the time. It's no shock. But honestly, Activision, I'm so happy Microsoft bought them out because the things that Activision does to this community is just insane. And I feel so bad for Sledgehammer. They might be my least favorite development team, even though that's slowly changing after Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer. But man, we cannot lie that they have been screwed time and time and time again. They got kicked off of Black Ops Cold War. That was their game, and then Treyarch had to finish it. They had to somehow magically put together Vanguard. So literally, basically, in a year, maybe even less, they got booted off of Black Ops Cold War. They had to literally put together a full brand new game the year after Black Ops Cold War. And then here we are, where they're getting literally scrambled through multiple different sections. It's the same story as Treyarch with Black Ops 4. Remember in Black Ops 4, they were supposed to have a whole campaign, a whole open world campaign, and then it all got shafted by Activision in replace of a battle royale. So the whole game was just, the multiplayer might have been fun, but it was really all over the place. It was a fun game, but it really was all over the place. And the same thing is here with Modern Warfare 3. The multiplayer might be fun, but the game is all over the place. The identity is hard to witness, honestly. It's hard to understand because there really isn't any identity. They had less than 2 years, a year and less than a half, to scrap a whole campaign that they already put together and then remake a brand new one. Oh, but ladies and gentlemen, we have not reached the worst of the worst yet. This right here is why Infinity Ward must be removed. I keep saying that. I feel so bad because I hope if it's any developers or any QA or anybody who watches my video, I hope that you guys know that all my videos, I do them off the top of my head. I don't write scripts. I don't read off scripts. I try to make them as genuine and free-flowing as possible. So sometimes, things leave my mouth that I don't intentionally mean, and that's one of them. I always say the developers, when in reality, it's not the developers, it's management. So I hope people understand that when, some things like that slip out of my mouth. But this right here is why management has to go, and they might be the worst individuals known to mankind. Charlie Intel goes on to say, Bloomberg's report says, Sledgehammer Games staff was frustrated with Modern Warfare 3's development because they had to run decisions by Infinity Ward's leadership, who took a while to respond to feedback and even stepped in to make their own changes. Screw Infinity Ward management. Absolutely screw them. This is why we can't get good games from Infinity Ward. If they can't even get back to a fellow development team, then how do we expect them to get back to the community? It's why they ignore the community so much. It's why we literally complain time and time and time again, and we're always sitting here like, it's no way they didn't see that, right? Like, we literally spent the whole year complaining about red dots. We spent the whole year complaining about dead silence. It's no possible way they didn't see that. But it's ego. They are literally egotistical assholes, not just to the community, but to their own fellow development teams. Even though Modern Warfare 3 was not their game and Sledgehammer was developing it, these egotistical assholes still stepped in and put their own input on how things should be. Screw off! Absolutely screw off! Where do you possibly find the confidence to think that your design decisions are good after you've been bashed for 2 games straight? Where do you find the confidence for this? Honestly, thank God Sledgehammer Games was here to at least polish off the multiplayer side of things. And it really makes me wonder how much they had to fight to get the multiplayer to where it is. How much they had to fight to bring red dots back. How much they had to fight to bring a normal perk system back. How much they had to fight to bring dead silence. How much they had to fight for all this stuff. Like, can you imagine trying to do your job and you have to wait weeks on top of weeks, maybe even months just for a response back? So you can't do your work. Like, Again, I have to say it. Whether you like Sledgehammer Games or not, what they did here with Modern Warfare 3 is a miracle, honestly. And, I'm not saying it's a fantastic because the campaign is rough and stuff like that. Like, you could tell that, it's basically an expansion. But seriously, with the time that they had and the bullcrap they had to go through, I'm surprised they were even able to get this game to launch. They had a year and maybe a few months on top of Infinity Ward having to literally look at their design decisions, and on top of that, they had to wait on Infinity Ward to respond to them, so they couldn't even do their job. They're trying to figure out ways to do their job, to push out the game, to push out the product, and they're being ignored. So they probably had to wait weeks to get something finished. I'm pulling out my hair for them. Like, I understand this, because again, anybody who works in the workforce, the workplace, knows that this is horrible. This is so frustrating. Nobody wants to deal with something like that. And managers like that are typically the managers that either A, get replaced, or B, are just, known as the worst people known to mankind and they have no respect from their actual crew. And I guess A isn't, possible because Activision refuses to remove the leadership at Infinity Ward. I don't know why after they've flopped 2 times. And B, I guess that's where we settle at. They are management who are egotistical assholes who basically get no respect now from any of the development teams and any of the communities because they just make things so stupidly difficult to, push out. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for you guys today. Just wanted to go ahead and fill you in on all this information, on what's going on behind the scenes, and maybe it'll let you look at Sledgehammer in a different light, because I know a lot of people are thinking that they're just lazy or they suck at making CODs or, so on and so forth, but really, they were really put through a lot of crap when it comes to Modern Warfare 3. Crunch time, horrible management, from Infinity Ward having to dictate everything they do. I'm surprised they were even able to get this game out in the first place. But, of course, go down in the comment section, leave your opinions down below about how you feel about all this stuff. Don't forget, leave a like if you enjoyed today's video, leave a dislike if you hated it, subscribe and hit that bell if you want to be notified for more stuff just like this, and we will be streaming over on Kick today, so if you guys want to catch that stream, the link to that is down in the description of this video, as well as my Twitter and Discord, and that stream usually goes live around 1 p.m. Eastern Time. But as always, thank you for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.